Hi guys, this is Mosh. Welcome back to another one. If you're new here, click on that subscribe button. Today I'm going to go through why you should invest in Bitcoin and how you actually go about buying Bitcoins. Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency, so it's based on cryptography, basically mathematical formulas. And technically fiat currencies, so the Great British Pound, the US dollar that we use today, they're also digital currencies, which a lot of people don't realize. Now, historically, for fiat currencies, the Great British Pound, the Euro, the dollar, it needs to be backed by something. And historically, it's been backed by gold, because gold is a natural rare resource that we find on Earth. However, many countries have moved away from that, and the large economies is literally just based on trust. So, for example, the US dollar is the world's reserve currency, because the general consensus is the dollar holds its value. If their general consensus was to shift, then the dollar would massively lose its value and no one would place trust in the dollar. Now, the issue comes is when you get fiscal stimulus. For example, in the US, giving everyone a $600 check. The Bank of England doing quantitative easing, so printing money. It's basically like shaking the magic money tree. If you keep doing this too much and keep doing fiscal stimulus, printing money, giving everyone checks, you get something called hyperinflation, which happened in Zimbabwe. So like a loaf of bread was like 1 million Zimbabwe dollars, which was ridiculous. Now what governments do, obviously they try and fix inflation. They say the ideal rate is around 2%. Pretty much every large economy is fixing its inflation rate. Now when countries do fiscal stimulus, naturally the price of gold goes up, because gold is the natural hedge against the dollar. So as you do more fiscal stimulus and you devalue the dollar, the price of gold increases. If we look at the price of gold in 2020 and from its high, we should expect that it keeps on climbing. That's what naturally happens when fiscal stimulus carries on. Now that has not happened. However, if you look at the Bitcoin price from 2020, that has continued to climb and climb and climb. I think now people are using Bitcoin as a natural hedge against the dollar. So they're taking the money out of gold and putting it into Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is basically becoming version 2 of gold. Now you may be asking, is Bitcoin a limited resource? And the answer to that is yes. There can only ever be 21 million Bitcoins ever mined. It also goes through this process called the halving. So every 4 years, the amount of Bitcoins being able to mine halves in number. And to mine that Bitcoin, it gets more difficult as well. So you require a lot more processing power, more energy, therefore more cost to mine equivalent Bitcoin than you did 4 years back. If you want to know the finer details, there's a lot of videos on YouTube, people a lot more knowledgeable than myself around Bitcoin. I've only recently got into the game. Now, why did I personally invest? For me, I've been watching Bitcoin for a while. It was never mainstream enough. Only recently, large institutions have been buying billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. And I think general public are more interested in Bitcoin. They're finding out how it works. So I think the market sentiment around Bitcoin has changed. Now, how do I actually buy Bitcoin? So generally to buy Bitcoin, you have to use exchange. There are a couple exchanges, but the one that I use is Coinbase. And the reason is it's easy to use. It's quite well known and it's regulated by the FCA in the UK, the Financial Conduct Authority. So how do you actually use Coinbase? I'm going to show you, I'm going to open up Coinbase and talk about how you actually buy the Bitcoin. So Coinbase has a lot more digital currencies as well. And as you can see, okay, you've got loads, Ethereum, Litecoin, whatever you want basically. Any cryptocurrency out there is probably on Coinbase, but the main one is Bitcoin. So you can see it's already on my watch list. All I'm going to do is click into it. You can see the current price and the price movements across whichever time frame you choose. All you have to do is press trade, buy BTC Bitcoin, purchase Bitcoin with cash. Okay, it's already linked to my account, and you put the value in GBP or dollars, whatever you're using, and that will tell you how much Bitcoin that can buy. So £10 gets me 0.00044,816 Bitcoin. So it's not a lot. Now you can see the fees as well. The fees are quite high on Coinbase. So what I do, I actually use Coinbase Pro, and I'm going to show you that, guys, in a sec. It's completely free to use, but the fees are so much lower. I'm not sure why they do this, but if you're using Coinbase, use Coinbase Pro, as the fees are a lot more better. All right, so I'm in Coinbase Pro. It also gives you some other nice things like the depth, the sentiment, the buying and selling sentiment. You can also look at the order book as well. So it tells you how many orders for how much is in the book. So if you want to do daily trades, that's nice to do. If we look at the fee structure, so if we go to fees, you can see I bought $803 worth of Bitcoin and it only cost me $4. If I was doing this in Coinbase, fees will be a lot higher. Now, what you can also do as well, you can take your Bitcoin out and put it into a hard wallet. So you can buy a wallet like a Ledger and you can transfer it there for safekeeping. So Coinbase wouldn't actually hold your Bitcoins anymore. It'll be transferred to your Ledger. So if you're concerned about what happens if Coinbase goes bust or if it goes down, is doing an IPO, then you can do that as well. For me, I'm going to keep it on Coinbase Pro until I've got equivalent of 1 Bitcoin. Once I've got 1 Bitcoin, I'm going to transfer that out onto a ledger. Now, where do I think the future of Bitcoin is going to be? Now, it's based on maths and it has been following its trajectory on a stock to flow ratio. So if I show you this, you can see that the trajectory and the actual price of Bitcoin has been following it for the last 13 years to the T. Is it going to get to 1 million by 2026 or whatever it may be? Probably not. But I do think that it will be worth at least 100K in 10 years time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to reduce my stock portfolio. Currently it's at 100%. I'm going to reduce it to 70%, and that 30% is going to go into Bitcoin, and I'm going to dollar cost average in because the price is quite high. I'm anticipating a drop. I still would recommend holding a stock portfolio, not putting everything into Bitcoin. Now, if you want a free share worth up to £100, all you have to do is create a Trading 212 account using my link in the description box below. Put in £1 and you'll get a free share worth up to £100. Simple as that. I hope you enjoyed this video and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.